Open your mouth in front of a mirror tonight and run your tongue across your teeth. If you have ever had a filling, a cavity, a crown, a root canal, that is damage from food your ancestors never tasted. For more than 300,000 years, nobody owned a toothbrush. There was no floss, no toothpaste, no dentist anywhere on Earth. And yet, when we dig up the skulls of people who lived before farming, their teeth are in better shape than yours. Rows of them, worn but whole, with almost no holes at all. So how did they keep their teeth healthy with none of the things we are told we cannot live without? The answer is not in their bathroom. It is in what was on their plate. Here is the story we are sold about teeth. Good teeth are a reward for discipline. You brush twice a day, you floss the way you are supposed to, you sit through the checkup, and if a cavity shows up anyway, somewhere underneath, you feel that it is your fault. You skipped a night, you ate the wrong thing, you did not try hard enough. A whole industry runs on that feeling. The whitening strips, the electric brush, the mouthwash, the 6-month visit that ends in a small lecture. The message under all of it is that your mouth is a problem you keep failing to manage. But there is a hole in that story, and you can see it in the ground. Your ancestors had none of it. No brush, no paste, no string, no dentist, and their teeth were healthier than ours. Whatever was protecting them, it was not discipline, and it was not a product. To understand it, you have to stop thinking about cleaning teeth and start thinking about what actually rots them. A cavity is not dirt. It is a living process. Your mouth is home to hundreds of kinds of bacteria, and most of them are harmless. But a few of them, especially one called Streptococcus mutans, have a particular taste: sugar and the soft starches that break down into it. Feed them that, and they do what any well-fed colony does. They multiply, and they give off acid. That acid sits against the enamel, the hardest material your body makes, and slowly dissolves it. Do it often enough, and the surface caves in. That is a cavity. Not a stain, but a wound, fed from your own meals. Now look at what your ancestors actually ate. Wild plants, roots, tough meat, nuts, the rare comb of honey if they were lucky and brave. Almost none of it was sweet. Almost none of it was soft. It was fibrous, gritty, sometimes half full of grit and sand. Food you had to grind for a long time before you could swallow. And that grinding mattered. Hard, rough food drags across the surface of the teeth as you chew and wipes away the sticky film before it can settle. There were no soft, sugary leftovers clinging in the grooves because there was nothing soft and sugary to leave behind. Their mouths were simply a different world, one where the acid makers were always hungry, always outnumbered, never handed the one thing they needed to take over. They were not protecting their teeth. Their whole diet was doing it for them, every single day, without anyone deciding it should. You do not have to guess at this. It is written in bone. When archaeologists count cavities in the skulls of hunter-gatherers, people who lived before farming, they find them in only a few % of teeth, sometimes almost none. Then agriculture arrives, and the curve bends. The moment people settle down and live on soft, starchy porridge and bread, the holes appear, in skull after skull, across the whole world. The food changed, and the mouths changed with it. And there is a deeper record, hidden in the hardened plaque on ancient teeth. In 2013, a team led by Christina Adler read the DNA trapped in that calculus across thousands of years and watched the entire community of mouth bacteria shift, first when farming began, then again when industrial sugar arrived, each time tilting toward the species that caused decay. The modern mouth is not just dirtier, It is a different ecosystem, remade by what we farm and refine. None of which means our ancestors did nothing. Long before the toothbrush, people chewed the frayed end of certain twigs, the miswak, from the arak tree, still sold today, softening the wood into bristles that scrubbed the teeth and carried natural compounds that fight bacteria. Across the world, in different forms, people cleaned their teeth with whatever grew around them. But the chewing stick was the smaller half of the story. The larger half was simply that the great enemy of your teeth had not been invented yet. So if their teeth were so healthy, what went wrong with ours? Two things, and neither of them is laziness. The first was the farm. When we settled down and built our lives on grain, we handed those acid-making bacteria a steady supply of the soft starch they had always wanted. And the balance in the mouth tipped for the first time. The second was far more recent and far worse: refined sugar. For almost all of human history, something truly sweet was rare, a windfall a few times a year. Then we learned to grow it, mill it, and pour it into nearly everything we eat and drink, until the rare windfall became the background of every single day. The bacteria that had been kept hungry for 300,000 years were suddenly handed a feast with no end. Your enamel did not get weaker. Your willpower did not collapse. The food in front of you simply turned into something your mouth was never built to survive. And it changed far faster than a body shaped over millions of years could ever follow. This is what the dentist is really fighting, though it rarely gets said out loud. The brushing, the flossing, the fluoride, the drilling and filling, almost all of it is damage control for a diet our teeth never evolved to meet. We took a mouth tuned for tough, bitter, fibrous food, and from the first year of life we feed it soft bread and sweet drinks, and then we act surprised that it needs constant repair. And because the story we are told is about discipline, the failure feels personal. You sit in the chair, you hear that there is another cavity, and some part of you flinches as if you have been caught, as if a hole in a tooth were a verdict on how hard you tried. It is not. It is the predictable result of pouring a fuel into your mouth that the whole system was designed to almost never see. The dread you carry about your teeth, the guilt at the checkup, the quiet sense that you are losing a fight you should be winning, that is not weakness. It is what it feels like to run an ancient mouth in a world made of sugar, and to be told the entire time that the problem is you. For almost all of human history, you did not have to fight for your teeth. The food did it. The roots and the meat and the long, hard chewing did it, quietly, every single day, and no one ever thought to be proud of it. Their teeth were not disciplined, they were not virtuous, they simply never met the thing that rots them. We did not lose some old talent for caring for our mouths. We invented the food that ruins them, wrapped it around our whole lives, and then sold ourselves the brush, the string, and the drill to hold back the damage. So the next time you feel that small guilt in the dentist chair, hear what it is really saying. It is not that you failed to care for your teeth. It is that you were born into a world your teeth were never made to eat.